Hello. It's Adam from Birdwood Guitars. And I'm kind of going to show you how easy it is to actually fret your own cigar box guitar neck. It's not difficult. There's lots of options out there nowadays, and some of the big options would be to make your own. Obviously, that's what I do. Other options are to purchase necks from other companies. There's some very reputable companies out there that build cigar box guitar necks. So by all means, if you're starting out, and you just want to get into it, then go and do it. Give it a go. I don't have any big secrets about how I do the necks. I've just kind of gotten into a pattern over a period of time, and this is just kind of the way I do it. One of the big things about cigar box guitars, in most respects, is that most of them have the same width all the way down from the nut down to the end of the fretboard. So there's no taper, which makes life a lot easier. Having said that, working with the taper is not difficult, because all you really need is one of these little Duvalakis. And you notice I'm using the proper terminology of Duvalaki. Let's excuse my backside. Let's have a look at a guitar neck that I built about 5 years ago. This was the first guitar. This was actually the first guitar neck that I actually ever made. Very, very, very first one. And feeling it now, and looking at it, I can see. I can see where I went wrong. I can see where I went right. There were some positives and some negatives. This was all. It was all hand carved basically. There was no. I didn't have any power tools or anything, and this is heavy. This is really heavy. This is an old piece of it's an old fence post. No, it's not. It's I think it's red gum or something like that. But it's really, really heavy. But for something like this, really, you only need to figure out where the nut is with one of these, and then basically the rest of your frets follow that same angle all the way down. So if you're ruling them up, as long as you're straight to your nut and your nut's square to the fretboard, you'll be all right. Anywho, I don't have to worry about that. I will be redoing this guitar. Actually, I'm going to refinish it and redo it. And apart from a couple of things, it actually worked quite okay. Anyway, I digress. So the big thing with these guitars is you can use the StewMac template, which is really handy, the fret calculator. Just type in StewMac fret calculator and you can work things out from there. And then you can do it in inches, or you can do it in imperial, or you can do it in millimeters. You basically just glue this down to the fretboard, glue it down, tape it down to the fretboard, and mark the millimeter increments or inches increments that you want. Or you can do what I do, because I've done both, and I'm really happy with the StewMac template. No, it's not StewMac. I'm really happy with that. I use the CB Giddy template, and it's excellent. It's very, very good. And sorry, that's my daughter behind me. She knows she's not allowed to be on film, so little monkey's just jumping through. So all I do there is basically lie this out. I folded it along the lines, make sure, put it down there, and I simply just mark off on the neck where I want to cut the fret slots. And I've used Japanese saws before, these things, and I freaking hate them. Alright, they're too narrow. Now that's just me. I'm not saying that my way is the right way, I'm just saying this is how I do it. I bought this initially to cut fret slots, and I hate it. It's too narrow and you've got to smash the fret slots in, and they don't, and it's freaking awful. So do yourself a favor, invest in a proper fret saw. I don't care who you get it from. I got this off eBay. It's made in England. It's very good. I'm about to use it on my dog at the moment. No, I'm not. Dog lovers of the world, don't unite against me. He just wants his ball. He keeps hiding it in stupid places, so I'm paying attention. And I've lost it again, so he can get back under there and growl. Anyway, so invest in one of these. I then, using the marking, I know my neck's straight. I simply use one of these things. 90-degree angle. Line it up at the mark, and I simply saw across, and I just use that. So, because that'll give me a perpendicular mark, and that's basically how I ruled up these. Okay, so the next thing I do is I get my frets. Hello, Prince the dog. And I buy them in rolls, right? And my fretboard's flat. I don't have one of those windy things. They cost like $300. All right, I'm using oak at the moment, which is really tough. I just flatten these out by hand. It's just the way I do it. I don't have any, this is home building at its simplest. I just simply flatten them out relatively flat, and then this is what I do. I have invested in a fret tang nippers. They're not the greatest quality in the world. I didn't get them from StewMac, although I don't suggest you don't. I think the StewMac ones are a shitload better than these, but they're good. I use these to cut the rolls up. These aren't good. All right, see how there you go. See how they're not flat? They're not flat, they're no good. But they're good just for cutting up and chopping things up. Have you got the ball yet, Prince? Have you got it? No. Okay, keep trying. All right. Again, I use this. All right, this is about a 60-year-old hammer. It's a steel hammer. I'm about to use it on my dog. No, I'm not. I won't.